is not shut. I hate when this happens. Morning, lovely people. I think it's this door. Yes, I knew it was something. I'm actually getting an early start to work today. I don't know. I just feel like being early. Anyhow, I want to talk to you guys about something that most are unaware of. And that's breakups. This is early too. I don't got no early birds. Am I the only early bird? Yo, it's like 10 o'clock. And nobody's here yet. Anyway, let me go ahead and share with you something that we fail to realize. We're talking about separation and breakups. And it isn't targeted to a specific group like twin flame soulmates or anything like that. It's overall. We're talking about relationships in general, because the same rule applies to everyone. The reason why people break up, and it's like one of those things like a screeching chalkboard. You hear it so much, it becomes so irritating because you know it's not the truth. Like when someone breaks up, or when you're no longer with the person that you loved, people say, oh, it's because it wasn't meant to be. Well, that's an easy way to not take responsibility for, things that happen. Welcome, namaste, Amanda. Is to blame it on the fact that you just weren't meant to be in the first place. That way, you don't have to work on your shadow. You don't have to work on your ugly. You don't have to face your inner demons. You can just write it off as, oh, it wasn't meant to be anyway. And so you keep recycling the same thing that are the same problems that you had in that relationship in your new relationships. That's all it does. It shows up in a different form. And it may be the exact same situation and issue in a new relationship because you have not taken care of the problem, because you've dismissed it as you guys not being meant to be. And so therefore, it wasn't going to work no matter what you do or what you would have done. I am here to shed light on the subject that is not the case. The reason why people break up, the reason why people go into separation is because they get out of alignment with one another. Okay? It does not mean that you were not truly meant to be together, because obviously you were meant to be together if the universe brought you together. It doesn't mean that you were meant to be together permanently, but even those that were not meant to be permanently can become permanently, because we are the conscious co-creators alongside Source. We are the ones that are the creator of our own universe. We create our own realities. So therefore, if we are in a relationship with someone that is a soulmate / twin flame or just a love partner, we can determine whether this lasts or not. But it takes two, not one. Two people have to mutually agree that they are willing to make whatever sacrifice or compromise is needed in order for the relationship to work. Relationships are built on compromise. If one doesn't feel like they want to compromise anyone, no matter how much you love that person, you cannot force that person into loving you. If that person is not naturally congruent and not in a natural ebb and flow of the relationship, you will get out of alignment, aka separation, which leads to breakup. And it does not necessarily mean that you and your person were not meant to be together, because you could have been very compatible with one another. But in someone's free will, or both of your free will, somewhere along the way, one or two of you decided to go on another path or to do things their way. Case in point, I had done a reading for a client 6 months ago. She had just broke up right before COVID with her boyfriend. They separated, they broke up. He ended up leaving her for a friend, a mutual friend of theirs. And they got into this relationship. And ever since he's been in this relationship, I've been telling her, this man has been so miserable, okay? But he's been going along with the status quo because he know he messed up. In order for him to admit that he messed up, he's been going with the status quo and being stuck on this vicious karmic loop cycle with his karmic, because the two of them are twin flames, because of ego. And I told her, what you need to do is live your best life, leave him alone, let him learn his lesson, and he'll come crawling back to you. Well, yesterday she came to see me at the shop, and she confirmed everything that I said. First, he called her brother and told well, basically they were talking, because he's really close to the family anyway. And every chance and every opportunity that he got, he kept mentioning his sister, which obviously I can't say her name because she's my client. So let's just say Divine Feminine. He kept mentioning Divine Feminine's name every opportunity that he got, asking her brother when's the last time that they talk, like as if they're not going to talk. Their brother and sister, of course, they're going to talk all the time. But she recently just went to go see a guy who's athletic that plays for the Ravens. And she was there, and she took pictures, and she showed them together on her Facebook or whatever. He's still following her on Facebook. And so this guy also is a professional athlete, but he hasn't been drafted yet. So it stems some jealousy in him. All right? Sometimes we can think more of ourselves than what we ought to, but we don't realize that the universe can bring better people and better situations into our significant other's life. Okay? While you're thinking you're the cream of the crop and the la creme of the la creme, there's somebody else that got their bread buttered on both sides. You only have yours buttered on one. So never think more of yourself than what you ought to in a relationship. Don't think, oh, there's only one of me, and I'm this and I'm that, and she or he can never find another person like me. Because trust me, there is always somebody for everybody. Or the purpose was for that time only, and to serve a purpose, but maybe not long term, maybe to show what love isn't. Absolutely. I totally agree. We are not here to learn love because we are naturally born. Amanda, that's a good point. We are naturally born in the state of love, in the vibration of love. Love is what created you. Okay? I don't care what conditions you were brought in. Love is what created you. Okay? You naturally are born in the vibration of love. So we're not here to learn love because we already know love. We are here to learn what love is not. And like Rumi said, to break down the barriers that keeps us from love. Absolutely, Amanda. It could be that it was temporarily. But what I'm saying, 9 times out of 10 in most cases, that's not the case. Most of the time, what keeps us from being with the person that we love or have us experience a breakup is because we are not congruent. We are not in the natural ebb and flow of the relationship dynamics that are supposed to keep us anchored together. Okay? What I am saying is 50% of marriages end up in divorce. And the reason why is because people often in a time when they're exchanging their vows, once they walk away, they forget that moment that they shared and the moment of what they said. So they forget the love that they once had for that person. Never forget the love that you had at first. A lot of people date all the time, and they go out all the time, and they do things together, and they spend quality time together. And then when they get comfortable in the relationship, what happens? Everything that was exciting, everything that was invigorating, everything that fused that relationship together as a bond and as a glue becomes unbonded and unglued because one or two people decide to slack off. Wherever your energy and your attention goes, energy flows. Wherever you focus on, whatever you put your attention on, that is where the energy goes. So if you are no longer putting that energy into your relationship and you're putting your energy and attention elsewhere, that is where that energy is going to go. So let's say person A and person B are happy and they're in love. Like the people that I was telling you about, my client. They were happy. They were in love. They grew up together. They've known each other all their lives. Okay? Their families are basically like each other's families because that's just how close these two are. And the families are. Alright, so what ended up happening is person B, which is her divine masculine, obviously somewhere along the line got bored with the relationship and he wanted to try other flavors of women. So he ended up dating the girl that he's with now. Now, person A, which is divine feminine, is still in love. she was still devoted. She remembered the relationship for what it was, but somewhere along the line, he forgot. He forgot who she was to him. And so therefore, that caused cognizant dissonance. Alright? Where he began to question, should I be with her? Does she really make me happy? Or should I give this person a try and see if they can make me more happier? And a lot of it is because most of the time, we're looking for love outside of ourselves. And when you look for love outside of yourself, you never find it. Because it doesn't exist. Okay? People that we come into relationships with are divine mirrors. They reflect perfectly what we are inadequate of or what our weaknesses are. And they also reflect our strengths too. But 9 times out of 10, they come and trigger us and they show us the things that we pretty much have downplayed or kept dormant. Okay? And when you have someone who comes along that mirrors that back to you, sometimes we don't welcome it because we don't like truth. And so therefore, we try to run from the relationship, but we're really, in reality, we're not running from the relationship, we're running from ourselves. Because this person is here to show you what you need to work on as an individual. And so when we get into other relationships, we think that, oh yeah, that was that person's problem. Like figure number B, which is the divine masculine, told her brother that he was immature, but she was immature too. They were both immature. Look, if you're trying to make amends and you're trying to make things right, don't point out the wrong of the other person. Point out what you did, right? Take responsibilities for your own actions. Because if you continue to pinpoint and narrow down the flaws in the other person, chances are you're not going to give yourself the chance to overcome your flaws and work on what you need to work on. Hello, my brother Peter. You see? You got to remove the rat from out of your own eye before you can move it out of the other person. It's easy to see the fault. It's easy to see the flaws in the other person. But rarely do we ever take out the opportunity to work on ourselves and to address our own iniquities and our own flaws. And this is what causes separation. And this is what causes us to continue to be in separation from our person. I see it so much, all too often in the twin flame journey with some of the people that I coach. That they always point the finger on the other person. Oh, this person has a sex addiction. Oh, this person drinks too much. Oh, this person loves too many women. Oh, this person is too promiscuous. And so forth and so on. And it's just like a vicious cycle of the blame game. One pointing the finger at the other person and not really truly understanding their true essence and what they played and their role in this situation. You're not separated because of one person. You're separated because both of you are not in alignment, period. And when you're not in alignment, universally in nature, it takes care of itself. No matter how much you love a person and you want to be with a person, if you're not congruent, if you're not making the necessary change and taking the necessary steps that are needed in order for the two of you to be on the same wavelength of communication and on the same viewpoint on where you want the relationship to go, you're going to always be in separation. There are people that are in separation that live together, but they're still in separation because they're not on the same wavelength when it comes to the goals of the relationship. Maybe they put their goals elsewhere outside the relationship, in career or finances or even other people, third parties. Take what resonates, okay? But it all boils down to both of you being in alignment, being on the same page. That's the only way that it's going to work. And the fact that it did not work doesn't necessarily mean that it couldn't. That's all I'm saying. I see it all too often. So many people say, oh, we're broken. They left my life. God allowed them to leave my life for a reason because we weren't meant to be. That's not necessarily true. And that's the purpose of this video. I want everyone that is separated or broken up from their person, it could be friends and family too. It doesn't necessarily have to be, equated to a romance or a romantic relationship. You could be estranged from your mother. You could be estranged from your father, a brother, a sister, a cousin, an auntie, an uncle. Okay? But I want you to forgive this person, because forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. I want you to start there. And then I want you to look at what you did to contribute to the breakup or the disconnect. Because once you learn your lesson, one or two things are going to happen. Either that person is going to come back full circle, back into your life, and play the role that they were supposed to play originally in the first place. Or B, you're going to move on, and you're going to traverse, and you're going to find another replacement. You're going to find another person to play that role. When you lose a mother, you gain a mother. I lost my mother. I gained a mother-in-law who was absolutely the sweetest woman ever and the best mother that I have ever witnessed. Okay? And that is my new mom. And I love her dearly, and she loves me dearly. So no harm, no harm, no foul. No foul, no harm. Alright? So it all took care of itself. Why? Because universally, I aligned myself, and that's what the universe brought me. As far as relationships, for those that are in romantic partnerships and that are estranged or separated, one other thing that can happen is the universe can bring you someone that is a vibrational match for you in the same vibrational frequency. People have unrealistic expectations. I'm trying to be safe, of love. That's true. I believe I have on earth to learn so I can grow and evolve. Absolutely. That's very true. If relationships are perfect, how and what would you learn? Divine mirror. Amen, Amanda. I love the way you think. I love the way you think. That's absolutely right. We came to this earth class to learn, and most importantly to evolve. All of us pretty much have similar missions. All of us have the same mission from source, and that is to evolve. That is to ascend. We are all on a spiritual mission. We may have different detours that may branch off, okay? But it all leads back to the same road, and that is the road to ascension. Amanda, I am so glad that you wrote that. And I'm going to try to read everything that you write, because I don't have access, once this video is uploaded, to going back and seeing the comments. Oh my gosh, Divine Mirror. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And you put, oh, that's good. Whatever attention goes, energy goes. Oh, I like it. So true. So, how do you end separation? One will want to begin to know, how do you end separation? Like I said, by being in alignment, being in congruency of what you want. This divine feminine said she's not dating any other man because she knows that this is the one for her. Now, I'm not one to discourage you from doing what you feel like you have to do, but I wouldn't cut off my heart and close my heart. I will always keep my heart open to love and being in the vibration of love, because when you're in that vibration, that's only from that standpoint when love can come in, whether it's from your person or another person. All right, be open. Always be open to love. If someone is not willing to love you, know your worth, knowing that they're not the end all, the be all. Okay, I know what I'm talking about. I have the love of my life. I'm married to the love of my life, and I honor him. We appreciate each other. We honor each other. Never forget to worship each other, because the divine is within. When you worship your mate, you're worshiping God. I learned this from the Hindu temple. You should always worship your mate. Always make sure that you're accommodating them. Always making sure that you're holding them in the highest regards. Okay? Oh, thank you, sister. Oh, thank you. Yes, it's been a whole lot of work. A whole lot of hard work for me to get to where I am. And just being in congruency of what it was that I wanted. I always wanted someone who loved me as deeply as I loved them, as much as I loved them, that respected me, that honored me. So we can have a, symbiotic relationship. A relationship that is reciprocal, where we both have reciprocity, even exchange, even give and take. I now with my partner. I have that with my twin flame. But we haven't always been where we are. It's taken a lot of work for us to get to where we are, and we're still continuously working on ourselves, individually and both collectively. And that's the only way that we can be together, is because we are both committed to honoring one another and showing up in a relationship in a way to where the other person knows the love that we have for one another, and then we're not keeping each other guessing, right? We're not keeping one another in the dark, but we're open and we're very transparent, and we make sure that the other person is feeling secure in the relationship. I'm eating berries for my breakfast because I'm on my way to work. So, again, the way you can bring the relationship back together is getting in alignment. Getting clear on what you want from the relationship and what you expect. And not wanting it from that person, but giving it to yourself. You can't pour from an empty container. How can you want something and you lack it within you? You want faithfulness, but you're unfaithful. You want honesty, but you're dishonest. It doesn't work like that. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I've given you guys enough information. If you want to come back into union with someone that you're separated from, come back in union with yourself first. Everything that you want that person to be, you be for yourself. Alright, thank you so much, Instagram, for showing me so much love. Thank you for those that participated in this live. I'm signing off. Namaste.